How strong really is the Dragonslayer Great Axe? Very. But what about in the hands of a bad player? For this run, our only rule is that I am not allowed to upgrade my vigor as a trade-off. Oh, fuck. God, what time is it? Oh, fuck, I'm gonna be late for work. Motherfuck, hotbox the cemetery, dude. Oh. Oh, fuck, alright. Time to go. We start our run like most other runs do. We run around, grab our blue Gatorade, kill this lizard for some scales, and successfully Success! We killed the boss. We killed the boss. After that, we went around Firelink to perform the tree jump, and got reminded that I am indeed not hot shit. We gathered our shard, the Silver Serpent Ring, leveled up, and then finally ventured out into the land of Lothric. We explore for a little while, up until we reach this room under a dragon, to obtain the weapon that we will use up until we get our main weapon for the run. After grabbing the next bonfire, we make our way to grab another Estus shard, a shortcut, and many Titanite along the way. We then beat up this grandma to collect the banner and the basin in order to fight Dancer a bit early. Surely this doesn't take too long, right? We'll come back to this later. Now, I don't want to kill any bosses that aren't required to be killed to obtain the weapon, so our only options are either Vort or Dancer. But what if we didn't have to kill Vort? Souls games have this neat little feature where your player model is at a certain point in the world's hitbox. When this happens, you get a top-down view of your player plunging to their death. The interesting thing is that when you are in this state, a lot of assets are unloaded. In all of these games, there are ways to activate Death Cam, but you're put into tank controls. It's unbelievably awkward to do on controller, but it's the only thing I got right now. Now you want to try to navigate around the area until you reach Vort's door. Hug the right side, and you should be good. I should have made a backup save. Anyways, Vort is dead. Now we can move on to the undead settlement. First we send Yol to Firelink Shrine, grab this bone that definitely doesn't serve a purpose, another Estus shard, and find a strange man in a cage. Some people, man. Hey look, Onion. We head down to the Road of Sacrifices to demolish this man-dog thing. I don't know, it's from Irithyll, I don't ask questions. What it does is it gives us a surprise tool that will help us later. We made friends with a giant, killed a demon with Onion, grabbed some rings, and lit a bonfire on the way to the Curse-Guarded Greatwood. We collect our first of many undead bone shards, and endure many, many broken bones for Yol until he collapses from the amount of blinkers this man took while I was gone. Suddenly, a mysterious lady appears out of nowhere, and I buy a book off of her for 50 souls. Fucking economy. We push through the Road of Sacrifices, grabbing the next bonfire, shards, and the weed shield. We make these NPCs fall up. We grab the bonfire. We run around Miyazaki's sick desire to make people suffer, grabbing an Estus, putting out the fires, grabbing the bonfire, a bone shard, and then going upstairs on the bridge.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill.
To bully a fat pile of rocks and grab some more upgrade materials. Fucking hate these losers. We go back to the Road of Sacrifices to send Orb back to the Firelink Shrine. We'll find out soon. And then we go off to kill the big tree so we can make our weapon for the run. Why are the voices getting louder? Oh, come on, brother. You don't really want to kill them. Anyways, she gives me a good weapon that gives you damage boost for being at low health. I thought it could be useful for me. It wasn't. I then touched this lady because she asked me to, and she immediately got sent to the fucking Shadow Realm. Finally, I felt ready to take Dancer on again. We were here for a little while. After finally defeating the boss, we reach 40 strength to wield the weapon without having to two-hand it. Then we go on to the King's Garden to pick up some more upgrade mats, followed by the castle as well. We pick up an old classic ring and take on the Dragonslayer armor with the surprise tool that will help us later. After dying, we head back to Firelink to pick up the Pyromancy Flame, because fire immediately gets rid of Frostbite. And I'm sorry, but what the actual fuck was this hitbox? After a couple of attempts, we finally got the weapon we were craving for so long. We head back to Firelink to upgrade it to +2, then we go take on the Abyss Watchers. Jeez. We massacred the Abyss Watchers. Yeah. After that, we pick up some goodies and make it to the first Catacombs bonfire. We head back to level up, kill an innocent and not so innocent man for rings and a nice hat before going on my merry way to annihilate Wolnir. After doing that, we head down to take on a demon, grab some upgrades, a shield, having help killing the worm that people think is Solaire from Dark Souls 1 for some reason, then bully an old man into submission before leveling up again. I don't know how or why I allowed myself to forget, but I completely forgot to record the Crystal Sage fight and the run up to the Cathedral of the Deep. So we'll come back to Crystal Sage later, like after the run is over, just to refight it. All you need to know is that I grabbed the Lloyd Sword Ring an Estus shard, killed the Mimic and right before the Deacons, and that's about it. You grab some new drip for now, and easily take on the Deacons. After that slaughter, we head to Amazing View ahead. This is where I was then reminded that invasions suck, and I am terrible at Souls PvP. Thank you for reminding me to boot up my game in offline mode. I wanted to fight through this area like I normally do, but the game happily reminded me that I am still not hot shit. So instead I ran through everything, grabbing the bone shard near the grave before reaching the manor bonfire. After grabbing that, we head to the painted world through Homeless Santa, who seems very welcoming. After running around and grabbing Freed's bonfire, I head down to the branches in order to
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill, I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else.
Metal Gear reference for a slab. I ran into town to say hello to the locals, and the nice man holding a key for me. Silly guy. Couldn't help himself from taking a nap. We ran through the hills until we reached the Gunner cave of Freed's home to crank that soldier boy and to fight the upcoming boss.
Shinji, crank that, soldier boy.
I went back to grab the Path of Dragon emote behind Osiris and some other knickknacks along the way. We actually first tried him, which is pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of this boss. We got more scales from the crystal lizards and then challenged champion Gundyr. After defeating him on the first try, we visit Firelink to grab a couple things, and then head back to Firelink to give the nice Fire Lady her eyes back. We then run around Irithyll Dungeon, grabbing another Estus, and running through some more to unlock a shortcut. Using the emote we got earlier, we can go to Archdragon. What kind of instant transmission shit, where we can find another important ring to us, followed by the hardest boss in the entire game. This boss fucking sucks. Backtracking, we finally follow through with my plan earlier to fight Sister Freed. My descent into madness was immediately heightened due to my low vigor. At least we got to listen to this banger the whole time. We go back and collect more scales in order to take our weapon to the max level. Then it's finally time to go back to continue our suffering. After a few more attempts, and with the help of homeless Santa Claus, we finally defeat the Foot Lady and her sugar daddy. Once she's defeated, we head into the Drag Keep to get some better rings, and perform this jump in order to skip most of the area. The angels suck, and I genuinely wish there was a more fun enemy to deal with here, but there's also a poison swamp, so I guess nobody's really allowed to have fun? The gods of Olympus have abandoned me. Now I'm fighting demons with Hobo Santa. Ignore the fact I died a couple times, but we carry on. We navigate through the city until we reach the bonfire near the lake. And we take this path. You do not have to kill the knight in order to get it. In order to obtain Havel's Ring plus 3. Which will be important to this run in just a moment. After grabbing that, we run into the far corner of the lake to see an old friend of ours. We politely rip his armor from his flesh in order to finally complete the build for our run. We make our back to Archdragon Peak to have a duel against an angsty man with his oversized chicken. Just roll the damn compilation, me. It only took about 3 deaths, but the Nameless King finally falls to our axe. After that, we return to Irithyll Dungeon to progress the game a little bit. The boss I was most excited to fight during this run was actually Yorm. We go back to Irithyll in order to take on my actual worst boss in this game, Pontiff. And realized until editing this that I was actually wearing the wrong helmet for a while. We'll ignore it. We make our way through Anor Londo with my cheeks clenched, worried that I would be invaded, only to then remind myself that I'm in offline mode. Due to my low HP, I was worried that Aldrich would actually keep me in an endless cycle of torment, but also first try. We make our way through the archives as anybody would, ignoring everything, until I traded with the Crystal Sage. Honestly, I kinda giggled a little bit. Anyways, we make our way around, unlocking each shortcut and collecting each upgrade material along the way until we reach another boss I normally struggle with, Lorien and Lothric.
Oh dear. Another dogged contender.
However, once again, first try, baby. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Crap, I forgot the champion grave tender. We run around the ring city until we reach this bonfire and encounter our good friend Madir. He seems to be struggling to keep himself up, so I gave him a little bit of encouragement. I'll check up on him in a minute, he'll be fine. We grabbed a ring, sent a moaner home, and decided to go pay a visit to our good old friend that we politely pushed off of a cliff. This is a boss I generally struggle with just due to my inexperience of fighting him, but we gonna learn today. Learn we did. An NPC fight? Never heard of her. We reach out to this eerie woman before learning that she can somehow magically send us to buttfuck nowhere. Oh hey Santa, how have you? Ayo Chip! I honestly thought I was going to break my no vigor roll during this fight. However, I decided to stop and come back at a later time and head back to Firelink to place the remains of the Lord. Once that was ready, I head to the Kiln of the First Flame in order to take on the Soul of Cinder. Now, this is a fight I usually have a lot of fun doing, so I'm just gonna let this one play out too. Once that fight is over, we finally return to Santa Claus and end him once and for all. Now, obviously I knew that this weapon was going to be fairly easy to use once I got it. But prior to that, I was genuinely concerned about the early game, because I am not a good Souls player. I mean, I love these games a lot. So the fact I was able to actually defeat Dancer after a couple hours and easily take on the Dragonslayer armor, honestly, was a genuine surprise to me. I want to say that the hardest part about this challenge, though, was just editing. That was the hardest part for me, was just finding that hurdle to edit. It was fun, though. But it's time for cleanup. We head into New Game Plus to take on the bosses that I didn't kill with the Great Axe. That in question being Gundyr, Ford, then Dancer, Dragonslayer armor, Crystal Sage because I forgot to hit record, and the most exciting boss in the entire game, the Curse-Rotted Greatwood. Honestly, I had a lot of fun making this video and just playing this game again. If you liked it as well, please be sure to give me a like, maybe even a follow, but honestly, I'm not gonna ask you too much. If you have any recommendations on what weapons or which game I could do next, or if you want to see something different, just let me know. Feel free to comment. It's up to you. Regardless, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, or afternoon.